Hey, what's up, everybody? We just had a Drupal users group meeting yesterday, and I started to show off some of the stuff that I was doing with Angular, and we started having a discussion about, what we could utilize Angular for to help the authoring experience for our content contributors. And I didn't do a very good job of explaining myself, as I usually don't. So I wanted to put together a quick proof of concept to show what I was thinking about. So right now, what we do for Elms is we try to abstract the layout of certain elements into separate view modes. So if we take an image for example, a content contributor can go into the media system, quickly upload an image and add some information to it. And at that point, they then have the ability to scroll through a library of layout options and choose the layout that they would like to use in their course. So if we take a look at an example of this, here's an image that we've uploaded as a Drupal node. And if we click on view modes, we get a listing of that node rendered through a bunch of different layout options. Now these are all separate view modes. So we have image left, image right, image boxed. So the idea is that they would scroll through here, find the one that they want, and then click the copy to clipboard button. Which what that does is it copies a token for them, and this token is basically saying, I want to anywhere I put this token, whenever the page loads, I want you to render item 110 from the media system and render it through a display mode of image right. All right, so that's the premise. A very quick explanation of the premise of how we deliver assets. And the reason we do this is because we want to give people the ability to choose between different layout options, but we need to be able to control the markup and the responsiveness and the accessibility of it, because that's still our responsibility. We don't want to lose that ability whenever they go and take these media assets with them into their course. But we still want to give them the flexibility to be able to lay out the course how they want to. So there's always a fine line there. So this process right now is working pretty well, although we can see at scale and down the line, whenever we have lots of different view modes going on, how this process might start to break down at scale. So if we take a look at how Angular might be able to help this, what we can possibly do is abstract the different layout options into an editable form whenever the content contributor goes to put this in their course. So here's an example that I put together on CodePen, and this is not a complete example at all. To make this work, this would have to be abstracted even further into the controllers and directives. But just for a proof of concept, this is what I'm thinking of. So imagine that this is our course here, and we have our content here, and we decided to put that token, that image, in between this content here, in between this text. So whenever the editor does that and they hit save, they're now viewing it on the page. They're not on the node edit page or anything. They're just on the page that they're seeing the entirety of the content on. And what we might be able to do is give them this little edit button here. So this edit layout could possibly be where the editor, the content contributor, hovers over the asset and hits edit, and maybe this screen pops down. And what this screen does is it would allow them to edit certain options for rendering this image. So right now it's just on default, but maybe they would want to select left and see how that looks like. So what this has just done is Angular allows us to dynamically change the DOM and bind these selectable drop-down elements, bind that to new classes or changing the DOM around completely. But right now, what it's just doing is it's just switching up some CSS classes. So we can do image left, image right, see how that looks. We could put that back to default. We also have another option that's called boxed. So it adds like a little nice box around it so they could see how that might look. Combine them all together. So this is what I'm envisioning, is we could utilize Angular's principles here of being able to dynamically, from viewing the page, you don't even have to be on the node edit screen. You can dynamically adjust the layout options and play around with it. I think that would allow them to build the page quicker. It's a much nicer interface than going back and forth in the node edit screen and changing the token. So yeah. So I mean, again, it's just a proof of concept, but interested to hear what you all think of it. So catch you later.